Do you wave your terrible towel when Renegade plays? Reach for a tasty cake when JJ shouts, "He scores!" Does the sound of an F1 engine make your heart race? Doing push-ups with a Nittany Lion after a TD? Then lend us an ear, and we will share the exhilaration of Steelers football, the excitement of Flyers hockey, the nail-biting finishes of F1, and the pride when we yell, "We are Penn State." Welcome to the SteelFlyers Show, the strangest combination of sports fandom since pineapple was put on pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SteelFlyers Podcast with your host, SteelFlyers.
Thank you. That is the delightful and the lovely Ronies, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure, always a pleasure, and thank you folks for tuning in to SteelFlyers Podcast. We really appreciate you guys being here. All you have to do is go to your favorite podcasting platform, type in Flyers Podcast, and our name will come up. Give us a 5-star rating, and that'll help us to get you to find us a little easier the next time you go in and search. And then you get to hear all the shows and all the great we got coming out here for you. And we like to thank Spreaker for all the great help and allowing the SteelFlyers All Sports Network to get all of their great shows, from the Hockey Writers Inc. to Prospect Watch to the Nittany Report to this show, out on all of your podcasting platforms. So big thank you to Spreaker for all that. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We got Season 2, Episode number 28, First Place, First Game.
There you go.
And the first thing that we're going to talk about is your first place Pittsburgh Steelers.
How on earth are we in first place? How on earth are we in first place? There is no way that makes sense.
We'll see. Apparently, the SteelFlyers All Sport Network magic has to be in the mix.
I see, because we were at the game. Yeah.
And, of course, with being at the game, we got firsthand just what the Steelers were able to do and able to pull out that victory.
Well, we wouldn't have gotten that victory without our D.
Look, it's funny because we talked about this on the 5-Star and Steel radio show on Thursday nights on YouTube. All you have to do is go check it out. 5-Star Matchup and myself, we do a radio show about the Steelers, and we talked exactly about that. That it just... the fact that we're in first and the fact that this game just was look, there's nothing like Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, it's a time-honored rival, you know what I mean?
There you go. That one came out pretty good.
I have with saying that word for some reason, so...
That time-honored rivalry?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. But, I have to tell you something here, folks. First of all, big, huge shout-out to Jennifer and Mr. Brian for all their great help with getting us to Station Square, down to the game. We got to ride the Clipper. Yeah,
that was fun. So if you get a chance, take advantage of that.
Yeah, if you get a chance when you get down there.
Maybe not when it's 40 degrees, but,
I mean, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't want to be down unless you get in one of the inside boats.
Yeah.
I don't think they run only the outside. I don't think they'll let you outside in the winter. I would hope not.
No, it's a bitch.
Because I'm here to tell you, man, when you get down there on the river, it's chilly, it's cold.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh in the winter. Hello.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be doing that. Plus, maybe the rivers will be frozen too, so you might not be able to do it then either. But we were able to take advantage of that fact, and we got to enjoy a really. I got to be honest with you guys. It was the defense really was the factor in this game, and the offense was very lackluster at the very beginning of the game, the first half. I mean, look.
It seemed like... Wait, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Go ahead. It seemed like we would get 2 or 3 good plays, and it would all fall apart. And there was no consistency. So we do get downs, and then Kenny would get sacked. We get a couple first downs, and then everybody would matches. Do you know what I mean? It was up and down the whole game.
I mean, there was a lot of 3 again.
Or 4 and outs, or 5 and outs.
Right. It was... why is the punter having to be one of the best players on the field for our team? That's redonkulous.
Or our kicker.
Yeah. Or why is Money Boz being the highest scoring player on the team? You know what I mean? Because he's kicking. He's not because he's kicking extra points. It's because he's kicking field goals. I mean, it's tough when every single week you're down 10-0 when you're going into the half, or 17-0, or 14-0, or
we should have been probably close to 17-21. To nothing because...
Yeah, but that Allar miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was such a wide open touchdown. But, so here's the thing, right? We heard a lot of things in the stadium because the fans do not lie.
Now, when you go to a Steelers game, you hear what Steeler fans have to say.
I mean, you really do. And what's really kind of funny is that now, I'll give you a different contrast of things here. The guy that we got to go to the game with brought his buddy, who happened to be a Ravens fan. And he dressed in gray sweatshirt and blue jeans. And you couldn't tell he was a football fan. Right?
He was incognito.
He was incognito, right? Yeah, because he was in enemy territory, right? So, then there happened to be some people sitting in front of us. 2 to be exact, that were wearing Ravens jerseys, and every time the Ravens did something good, this guy would get a clap, and I just said to him, you just feel like a man on an island, don't you?
Because he really was, man.
He really was. There was just no, I mean, that's what you get when you come to a Steelers game and you're trying to be in enemy territory. That don't wash, but... respectful, I will say.
Yes, it was. For what section we were in, even though there were Ravens fans around us, there was no arguing. There was no, I hate to say it, but I've never had a problem at Acrisure Stadium with people being angry or pushy or...
I mean, yeah.
Other stadiums we've been to, we've had issues.
Yeah, not with us.
No, not with us, but other people in the stands.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? And so then I'm with you. And it was just kind of being around our people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everybody was on the same page. It was like, all right. I mean, the people that were all were wearing Pickens jerseys, right? And they were all saying the same things that we were saying, and they were cheering the things that we were saying. I was like, all right.
And booing this.
Right. So that's the other thing, too, that...
oh, wait, can I say one more thing about the
ahead.
stadium, since we're on that subject? There's nothing like 6,000 people singing Renegade at the same time.
You mean 67,217
Well, I lowered it a bit because there were a few Ravens fans, and maybe some people weren't familiar with the song, don't particularly like that song, so I had to adjust it a bit. So I'm going with 62,000.
Wow, so you're saying there was 5,000 Ravens fans there?
Could be.
Woo.
Or, just...
All right, that's like what? It's like 1%, 10%?
Something like that.
Wow, that's still... Hey, what do we do? Come on.
Still, a whole stadium singing the same song at the same time is an amazing thing.
We actually got to witness a win. I mean...
The last 2 games we've been, they've lost.
Well, yeah, the last couple of games we went to, they lost, and so it was nice to go to a win.
Especially since it was versus the Ravens.
Right. I mean, look, I circle 4 games on the calendar every year. Mm-hmm. And they're the only 4 games that I care that the Steelers need to win. I don't care hands down, and that's the Browns and the Crows.
Yep.
Or, I'm sorry, look, it is. I would not have a problem going down to Baltimore Stadium in full attire, full colors. Would not have a problem at all. I mean, I'd be carrying a freaking rifle with me or something.
No, you wouldn't doing that. No, you wouldn't.
I'm just kidding.
You might be wearing some Kevlar.
I'd have armed security. How's that?
There you go. That's better.
I'd have armed security. But I still would do it, though. I wouldn't care. But, okay, so let's talk about this game here a little bit. In the fact that we... Dare I say, there was some semblance of a run game a la Jaylen Warren?
Yeah, he got a couple good runs.
Wow. Yeah, and some good catches out of the backfield, and like the kind we thought that, Najee Harris would be doing. It's not. You know what I mean? And, man, I got to tell you, it's... So, here's my thing. Here's my whole take on Najee Harris. I always felt that Najee Harris was a pick that should not have been taken by the Steelers. I think there could have been an offensive lineman that they should have selected in that first round instead of Najee Harris. I still like the Freiermuth pick because I think they needed that particular type of game-changing type of tight end like they've always wanted to have, a la, Heath Miller, a la,
Well, I think he should be using him more, but...
So, I'm getting to that.
When he's playing.
Right. And the fact that he's out now because, I believe he's out concussion protocol. He wasn't able to clear this week for Freiermuth, so I'm not on that. Don't quote me on that concussion thing, but maybe it could be the shoulder thing too. Yeah, I think it is the shoulder. I don't think it's a concussion, but they got a bye week this week, and so. But at any rate, during the game, Jaylen Warren was able to get some good runs. The offensive line with Broderick Jones from Georgia starting at tackle, he only allowed one pressure.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Rookie, what are you doing? Play this kid.
Well, I have my opinions on that, so...
The run game needs to be more of a part of what the Steelers are doing, but they find a way to disguise it more and to... I think what we're seeing here is a changing of what needs to happen. Yeah, I understand that Najee Harris is the first-round pick, but I really think that Jaylen Moore has to be your guy, has to be your horse.
Or at least, maybe 60-40 or 70-30. Have Jaylen most of the time, give Najee some shots.
Well, here's the problem, okay? And the problem with this is that Najee is not good at all the things that Jaylen Warren is good at. Jaylen Warren is good at that, picking up the blitz, okay, on third down if he has to stay in and block for Kenny, because usually if they're in the shotgun, and he's usually out there by himself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the other problem, too. If you're in the shotgun, you should have somebody standing there next to you. Whether you fake handing the ball off to him or he helps pick up some of that slack, a guy that's blitzing. You know what I mean? You should throw it to your receivers / tight ends / what? Look, this is Offense 101.
Yes, I have a suggestion. Would you like to hear it?
Go with the chant. That's hardcore, man. That's really hardcore to be saying that kind of stuff.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Okay, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, maybe if they practiced it more on a regular basis, might have a better chance of doing it during the game.
Practice what more? Anything?
Offense?
Running ball, blocking.
Basics 101. Instead of trying to do all these fancy throws and
jet sweeps
and all that,
yeah.
Just get back to the basics, start with that, and then
you.
build on that. It doesn't seem like they have the basics down yet. You got people running routes that aren't where they're supposed to be, or they're not...
Or Kenny's throwing them to where he thinks they're supposed to be.
Right, and it's not connecting.
Yeah.
So that tells me that they're not practicing those things.
And you can't tell me that going up against the defense that's the Steelers putting out on the field. Look, I understand in the two losses that the Steelers gave up a lot of yards, and even in the wins still gave up lots of chunk yards, and all 300-yard passers and 168-yard receivers, and teams getting over 100 yards on the ground against us, that and that and that. Especially in the losses that we had. Do you know what I'm saying? But in the wins that they have, the defense has really kind of been the only thing that's carrying the team because it's keeping the scores low.
Right, and it gives us a chance to
win.
Yeah.
When the opposition only can score 10 points, hey, that makes it easy for you. Sort of. I mean, and then the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are number one, I think they're in the top 4 in takeaways.
No, that I believe, because I think TJ had 2 sacks?
No, takeaways.
Oh, okay.
Like interceptions, fumbles, stuff like that, right? So, and TJ is number 1, all by him lonesome, in the sack department with 8.
Yep.
Everybody else has 7.
Speaking of TJ, did you hear it?
Oh, man.
Popped it right back in.
And played the rest of the game?
Now, he has a dislocated finger that he has just relocated, and he's like...
He dislocated it like, man, hey, have you seen... Ring, 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 ring. Hey, yeah, have you seen my finger? You have? All right, can I have it back now, please? Cool.
That had to hurt.
Oh, I mean, that just... Look, all right, so here you go. This is for all of us folks that are older than 30 that remember Ronnie Lott playing, where I believe he got his finger pinched or something to the tune of the whole tip of it was basically kind of
gone,
dangling. And he just taped her up and came back out. I think he even had an interception that game too.
Okay, we have to stop talking about it because I'm getting the ickies.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, right? Okay.
But now we have a week to let him heal. Who else do you think will get back after the bye?
Here's the other thing I want to mention too about being at the game. What an amazing last 5 minutes of the game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have scripted that. And it seems like 5-Star pointed this out too, and I have to agree with him 100%. It just seems like Mike Tomlin has Harbaugh's number. The last 6, 7 out of 8 games has all gone to the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Tomlin even said, and I just let him come in and make the big mistakes. And that's basically what he does. He just holds out and holds out and holds out and waits for them to do their mess up. And when they do, they're there to pounce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Here's the problem. Okay, this was the Ravens, so it's a special week. But you can't go into any games like that. You're not going to win a lot of games if you go in there with that kind of
mindset.
You have to go into the mindset with hey, look, I need to take it to him. I need to do what I need to do, and I need to get my moving and rolling and put points up on the board on a regular basis and things like that. This team, quote unquote, has the talent to.
We see flat of it all the time, and it drives me crazy. Yeah. It's like, why can you do it one time and then the next 3 snaps you're doing nothing? I don't understand.
You look like you're all on different fields or something. You know what I'm saying?
And I know where that's coming from, but can I make one comment?
Sure.
About my.
Sure, by all means.
Okay, so we all know that we scored a touchdown last 5 minutes of the game. And the cameras cut to the booth, and all the assistants are up there, and they're all cheering. They're excited. Hey, we're going to win. We did a good job.
Almost all the others were cheering.
Okay. And there is Mr. Canada looking pissed because we scored a touchdown? Maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but that was very disconcerting, that he didn't even have a smile on his face.
Somebody had to nudge him to be like, hey, man, we're cheering? Yeah, I don't, look, I'm not a professional, and I am not a professional journalist, nor am I any way near, shape, form, anything resembling anything coaching. But
when your scores, you at least smile?
I mean, yeah, that something.
It wasn't like he was looking at the next play or
figuring. You saw him. He tracked that all the way. You saw him move his head right when the ball hit, and then he followed it all the way into the end zone. So you can't tell me he didn't see the play.
Right, and if he didn't, then them too. But I don't think that was the issue.
Oh no, he saw the play. You could clearly see he was tracking the play with his eyes and his head. You clearly could see that. Look, I don't want on that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
And I understand. And look, hard. Okay, I've never seen. I mean, I thought it was bad with Randy Fiechner, but this is getting bad. Okay, And when you start to boo the team, that just makes it look bad for everybody all the way around. Okay? That's disrespectful. That's, look, I get it. I'm not happy with the situation. But the reality of it, what it is, what we got to deal with, he's not going to go anywhere during the season. More than likely, he will not be back. I mean, he just seemingly keeps putting nails in his own coffin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like Pittsburgh is trying to drum him out, and he's doing it himself.
Right.
I mean, it's like you just keep giving him more rope. Here you go. Here's 10 more feet. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right,
okay?
we're done. I'm done.
Right. This is a bye week, so it's a perfect opportunity for Dante Johnson to hopefully come back. He is eligible to come back now because he was
good.
on short-term IR. Hopefully Pat Freiermuth can come back as well. You know what I mean? I also know that Neal was on the well because of the concussion. The defensive lineman. So that would be good to get him back too as well. It's another week they go by where even though we don't have Cam Hayward, we're not missing him because we're not playing this week.
Yeah.
So
I think we missed him a lot this last game.
We've missed him a lot, period. Okay, and we still are going to miss him for another 2 or 3 more games, I think.
Oh, man.
Yeah, oh, man. Okay, right. So, the next game coming back out of the bye is the Rams.
Oh.
At the Rams.
Yay.
Okay, so, yeah. That's going to be a game that there's a series of games here that the Steelers are going to need to win. So, if in the next 4 games, right, that's the next chunk of games, they go 2-2, that puts them at 5 and...
Okay.
Right, because they're 3-2 right now.
Right.
Right, and if they go 2-2, that puts them at 5-4. If they win the next 5 games, which they potentially very well could... No, I'm not... Right? Based off of how the team's played so far... Right? Mm-hmm. There's a way that there's... If they get to that and are able to do that, that still leaves, I think, 3 games left.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We go with what you're saying. Get to the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, well.
Then what's going to happen?
Well, any Sunday or Saturday or whatever.
Yeah, I get there's always a chance, but...
Depends on who all is up there making it. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Some of the teams that we think are going to be there might not be there. And some of the teams that we didn't think are going to be there are probably going to be there. A la Miami.
Yeah.
Are
Miami and San Francisco in the same...
No.
So it could be
Yeah.
A San Francisco game?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm predicting now.
Oh, well, okay. Well, there you go then. I don't know, man. The Eagles are still undefeated. Amazingly, God willing, they're still... But they still are. And so, as far as I'm concerned, until the Eagles and the Flyers, which they very well could because they're both FC, if they play, that'll be a good matchup. But at any rate, if they don't play during the regular season, they will play during the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're both vying for the number 1 seed. So, we'll see how it plays out. Okay? I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? However, let's talk about, since we just talked about first place.
Yeah. And again, still can't believe we're...
I know, right? 3-2, first place. We shockingly, amazingly beat the Browns.
Hey, wait a second. So, I'm sorry. I just realized something significant. So the Eagles won this week, correct?
Yeah.
And the Phillies are moving.
Yeah, they're going to the NLCS.
And then something else good happened in Philly this week. We'll talk about in a bit.
We're just getting ready to talk about that right now.
Yeah, so it's been a good week in Philly.
How about that? A good week in Philly. What do you know?
Well, sports-wise.
Not sports-wise only. Because here we go. We're going to talk about seeing as how we just talked about first place, we're going to talk about first game. And the first game of Philadelphia Flyers was against the Columbus Blue Jackets in Columbus. And
I
had to do a double take.
Yeah.
My eyeballs were peeled open. my jaw was firmly jutted onto the floor. I found myself sitting at the edge of the seat with a little drool coming out. I'm just kidding. I wasn't really sitting at the edge of the seat.
No, you were sitting on the edge of your seat. It just was no drool involved.
Okay.
But I think they looked great. I mean, I saw a different attitude coming from the team, or is that just me?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I really feel the same. There just seems to be a different vibe with this team. There just seems to be a different feel for this team. I mean, I've watched the preseason. I watched the rookie camp. I've been able to see a lot of what the team has been able to do. But here's what I think is the huge and major difference as to why this team feels different. And that is because of the likes of Igor Zamula, the likes of Bobby Brink, the likes of Cam Atkinson being back,
Yeah.
the likes of Tyson Forster being out there, the likes of Canson being back.
You said that.
Sean Couturier being
That's
back.
the one I was waiting for.
I mean, just having those two guys back alone, and then the youth around them.
Mm-hmm.
I really... It was funny because I listened to the press conference, Tortorella, after the game, and he was like, yeah, he says, I kind of have I gotta kind of have a little thing now. I gotta figure out how to do some ice time now.
Okay.
Well, no. So there's guys that are fighting time because they should be out there. You know what I'm saying, right? So now I have to kind of, hey, wait a minute.
Who am I? I'm gonna have a wealth of choices, or
it's a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
It's a bad problem to have. You know what I mean?
No, it's a good problem to have.
No, but that's what he said in the press conference. He said, compared from this year to last year, he said he has so many more choices, so many more options, so many more different combinations that he could do now this year with availability of players that he didn't have last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's clearly going to give a good coach. You start giving him some good players, and hey, what do you know?
We win a game or.
I was also very impressed with, and I'm going to say this, I was impressed, and Lance and I talked about this on the Hockey Writers Inc., where we felt that defense would be a good offense for the Flyers, and I think that really held true because there was a lot of block shots, there was a lot of good defensive play in front of Carter Hart. He did not have to. He was one of the stars of the game. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to be. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he only faced, I think it was 20 to 32 or something crazy
something like that. Yeah.
But, the fact that the Flyers outshot Columbus, the fact that, Columbus with the quote-unquote firepower that they have, Johnny Hockey, Line A, you know what I mean? That they were going to be a little bit, tough Flyers to handle, and their defense just settled down and said, no. You know what I mean? There was some good block shots, and the guys played really well. I was really impressed. I saw a lot of good keeps from Cam York. I was really impressed with how he played. I was really impressed with Bobby Brink and his energy. And
you know what? The one play that stands out for me is he had a turnover at one point.
Yeah.
And he went and fought for it back.
So that there wasn't a rush going the other way.
Right. And I don't remember seeing that a lot last year. Like, when there was a turnover, it would be like, oh, well, he's got the puck.
Yeah, they were skating back the other way, getting a point-blank shot on the goaltender, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. You see what I mean? that's the thing that wasn't there last year. That's the difference, right? That we didn't see that last year. Look, I still think that this team is going to be tough to play against no matter what, like it was last year. It was tough to play against this team last year, but now you have the likes of Walker, the likes of Emile Andre. You have the likes, you know what I mean, a Stall back there. I mean, that dude played minutes. I really have to say that I have been really surprised at what Sanheim has done.
Yeah.
I have not been very complimentary to Sanheim, owing to the fact that his numbers are ridiculously ugly to the negative.
Okay.
But the thing that he did this summer and what has kind of also been a part of the noticeable change is how he's played, because he's put on 15 or 20 pounds.
Okay.
And he stuck around and he did some training and he, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, hey, took a page out of the Joel Farabee book, huh?
Yeah. He looked good, too.
Oh, boy. Look, well, we didn't even talk about him yet, right?
Right.
But, yeah, first goal, right off, right? Farabee, and welcome back, man. Nice, healthy Joel. That's great. Training camp, everything, it's great. He had
that surgery, and he was a little bit off still last year.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, sorry, a lot of good things to talk about for the Flyers. Really looking forward to this game coming up against the Senators. Is their next game in Ottawa. And so next week's going to be the home opener, and that's going to be doggies. But I just want to say,
by the way, that game, the time was moved.
Yeah, no, from 7 o'clock to 6.
6, yeah. Just in case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a Tuesday game.
Is that it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I gonna be excited to see how this is gonna fly. By the way, big shout out to Jim Jackson, and Brian Boucher. Jim, the opening montage was all that, man, and that was just cool.
Yeah, it was.
Can I have some more of that, Jimmy?
Yeah, that was cool. He set it up like it was, a movie, and, the director was,
I like it.
And then the players were the actors, and, it was a really cool way to look at it.
That was really, really cool. I really liked that, and I'm, man, it just goes to show you, I am humbled presence of the teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've had a distinct and honorable pleasure to learn from this man. And this is the kind of stuff that he's doing, and I mean, I'm in awe of his skill and talent in front of the camera and behind the mic, and what he's able to say and do. And I could only ever dream and fathom to someday, be that good.
Yeah.
But hey, I can dream. Anyway, so enough about the Flyers. I'm still going to say this too.
We have one issue.
Well, Hart looked really good.
Yeah.
I thought he played really, really, really well. He did not have to be the main man, pots and pans in this game, and he looked stellar. I was blown away by the control he had, by the limited rebounds that he gave up. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He covered up the puck, and he covered up the puck. Right? There was no, he was solid. Like, he just looked solid.
Well, when you're not, running for your life the whole game because you got pucks flying at you the whole time.
Point blank range. We all know that Hart is a good goaltender, but we just haven't seen his numbers. Okay? And many a debate about this, and And Lance has had many a debate about it, and everything else like that. And here's the thing. Until Carter Hart can put together 2 or 3 stellar seasons, you can't consider him to be elite.
Right.
He has a .449 winning percentage. He has 5, count them, 5 shutouts in his now 6 years in the NHL. Okay? That is not elite goalie. All right? He's got an over almost a 3-point percentage for save percentage, right? And his goals against is .90 something.
Okay.
Okay, so that's just...
The numbers aren't there.
It ain't getting it done. Right. The numbers aren't there. He doesn't have the wins. He barely has played in 42 games.
Yeah.
A season. Barely. You're not... I'm sorry, but I just can't see that as being...
Yeah.
Okay? Until I see the guy putting up shutouts, until I see the guy taking over games, until I see the guy shutting down other teams by himself, stealing games by himself, then that's when I put it in elite status.
Okay.
Okay? You know what I'm saying? So, Vasilevsky, elite.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
Right? He's won Vezina. He's won Stanley.
Right.
Okay? Got to put Bob up there, too, because he's won Vezina.
Not with us.
Not with us, but you got to put Fleury up there because he's won both as well.
Yep.
Okay? So, I mean, come on.
All right. Time to head to...
Well, there's one other thing I want to say here about the Flyers.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
No, it's all right. We really some power or some penalty killers with some of the pickups. Hathaway, great game. He played a great game. Really like that. Walker played a great game. Was really like he did. You know what I mean? Really like what those guys brought to the table. Stahl, great penalty killers. Is what the Flyers need. However, they still need power play. They still look like lost. During the game, they were 0 for 3. So, that's lost.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's something that's essential to be a winning team. Got to be able to, use those power plays to get those points, right?
Exactly. But penalty kill did really well. They held Columbus to... They had 4 chances, but they didn't do anything with it as well either. But... here's the thing, though. So we need some power play, man. It just needs to happen. It just needs to... How soon? What are y'all waiting for? Let's go. Okay?
All right.
So, all right. So, welcome back.
Yeah.
Happy Valley is going to be a lot well.
Yeah, they were on a bye last week, correct?
Yep. Welcome back to the Nittany Lions, number 6 ranked team in the nation.
There you go.
Hear that?
Number 6.
You hear that?
Number 6.
Number 6 ranked team in the nation. Wow, 5-0. That's impressive.
I think so.
For where I thought this team was going to be to where they are, I'm impressed by how this team has played and performed so far. They've had some good tests. I don't know if this week is going to be one.
University of Massachusetts, correct?
UMass Minutemen.
Yeah, that may not be the biggest challenge for them.
But it could be, because it's one of those things where don't overlook them, because if you do,
and
you let them hang around, they're going to bite you.
Right. Don't play to their level.
Right. Seriously, if you have to score another 3 points, then score another 63 points. I don't care. Right? Seriously, the more points you score, the better it is for you at the end when they're tally-ho the all the playoff stuff. Right? So you keep putting up 63 or 30 some odd points a game. Yeah, that's going to bode well. Here's the thing. Don't look past this team. play above the level of this team. Don't play down to the level of this team. You're at home. Take care of business. Do your thing. Get that freaking line doing is a lot of push-ups.
Wear him out.
I mean, seriously, dude. Think about it. I think they said he did like 541 push-ups. That they scored 3 points or something like that, right? 541. That's a lot of push-ups, man.
That is a lot of push-ups,
right? Getting to do a lot of push-ups. Anyway, Nich Singleton, Kaytron Allen, should be nice and rested up, nice and fresh.
Yeah.
A little nicked up, both of them, somewhat towards the end of the last game there. So it's going to be nice to have them rested up, ready to go.
Yeah, bye week is always welcome reprieve, no matter when.
Yeah, exactly, no matter when. And this time just seems to come at a good time for the Lions. Good time to have the defense rest up because this next half of the season is what is really going to matter. There are a couple of games that are on the schedule that you really need to...
So who's up after the minute?
Ohio State.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's going to be a real test.
And then we have another game, and then guess who else?
Michigan.
So here's the thing. Don't look past this team. Do what you need to do. Broom them fast.
Right.
I'm not trying to just this team all, but I mean, it's the same thing that Allar does. It's the thing that...
Speaking of Alabama, what is on there?
You mean what is not going on?
No, what's not going on.
Right, they're not winning.
That.
Well, when you continually supplied the NFL for the last 4 solid years,
players,
number one draft pick after number one draft pick or whatever, it's kind of tough to
maintain your talent pool.
You might have a year or two that's going to be a down year, and so
everything's ebb and flow,
as the way it should be. Looking forward to Drew Allar.
He's been really good this season.
He's been the offensive player of the month or the week, or I think it was the week. Yeah,
okay.
Offensive player of the week, Big Ten offensive player of the week. So that was good. He needs to string a couple of them together.
Yeah.
He's had some games where he's shown his lack of experience.
Okay.
This is his first year as a full-time starter. So you can tell that
there's some growing pains.
And there's some things that he just hasn't experienced yet, and that's going to come with playing.
Right.
He'll get that experience. I think he's going to be... he's shaping up to be one of the best quarterbacks to come out of Penn State. And Kerry Collins, better than Todd Blackledge. And I know Collins played in the Super Bowl. They didn't win. They got housed. I mean, they seriously got housed. I think he threw like 3 or 4 interceptions that game. And, it was ugly. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he still played in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Right? And which, okay. But, and nothing against Todd Blackledge. He played, really well. I think he was drafted by Kansas City, and he played there for a couple of years and moved around a little bit, and then made a great career broadcasting. You know what I mean? And kudos to Todd Blackledge. I actually meet him, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right? I got to meet him, and he was the quarterback of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Yes, sir, Mr. Blackledge. Right? So, but those were the only really quarterbacks. I mean, you can't really say anything about McSorley. You can't really say anything.
Right.
I mean, I get it, Sean, but he's a backup. He won the job, but that's really,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So... he could potentially be one of the best ones to come out. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how he does at the end of this year and how things fare. But I like where Penn State's going, and we'll see how things go. This is a Saturday game here for the Lions. It'll be at home, so Happy Valley will be in full swing. So
don't try to go around State College on this weekend.
Or getting into State College anywhere within 20 miles of State College because you'll be sitting in traffic. No, I've never been to a Penn State game. Notice the dripping sarcasm. Anyway, good luck to Penn State and the Nittany. We're looking forward to that game on Saturday. So go, guys! Way to go! Way to go! And the last thing I think we're going to talk about here is, Verstappen wins the Drivers' Championship at Qatar Grand Prix.
Yeah, we already knew that was coming.
Yeah, that was They only needed 3 points in the sprint shootout, which I think he got. So he didn't even need to really finish the race, but, is what it is. Congratulations to him, though, by the way. That's 3-time constructors, 3-time drivers.
That's great.
Yeah, right? He has the record now for most wins in a single season.
Really?
He beat Sebastian Vettel. He has 10. Sebastian Vettel has 9.
Okay.
Schumacher has 7
in
one season.
Okay.
Right? But see, now, here's the thing, though, too. When Schumi was driving, they only ran, 14 or so. Or
yeah,
15.
there were less races.
There was less races, right? You know what I mean? So, what are they up to now? 22?
I have no idea.
Something crazy like that, you know what I mean? All right, yeah.
A lot.
That's almost 10 more races than what they used to run back in the day.
Some more.
Yeah, there's more. Yeah, there's more races. There's some more. For sure. Ferrari's still hanging in there for a better finish to the season here. Depending on how the last couple of races go, Ferrari could still potentially get, second.
Which is better than they did last, right?
I will take it.
Yeah.
In the constructors, we'll take it because that just I don't know as far as the drivers are concerned. Leclerc and Sainz have had. I mean, they've done a lot better this year as far as finishing, as far as both cars going across the finish line.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
And that's really helped keep them in the fight.
Exactly.
It's really good when both cars cross the finish line. Hey, guys, how about
There's
that?
no DNFs like every other race.
Right, hey, how about both cars finishing the finish line? But looking to the next race.
Yeah, because
sometime before I leave this planet, I am going to make a Formula One race, and I think I would love to go to the one at Monza. And then take a tour of Maranello because it's only 12 miles up the road. But I'll settle for Austin at Coda.
Hey, we can go to this.
No.
Miami?
No. That wasn't too bad. The Miami Grand Prix, that wasn't too bad. I would go to see that one. That one's a lot closer. But I would really like to just go to Coda, though, because I really like this track.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind going there because it was the first one that they brought back in the United States. This track was purpose-built.
For Formula One.
And but they hold races there, too.
Right,
not just Formula One, but purpose-built, though. In the United States, imagine that. They purposely built a Formula One track state. They did it again in Miami. It's a street circuit, but whatever. Anyway.
Well, it's not a street circuit as a parking lot, correct? It's around the...
It is a bit odd, the track in Miami. You know what I mean? But, hey, man, they pulled it off. It was a great race.
All right.
You know what I mean? It was a really good race, and they did a lot of cool things. It was right there around the stadium where the Miami Dolphins play. They set up all kinds of, concessions and...
right.
Whatever. So, awesome stuff. But, yeah. I'll tell you what, though. We're just about approaching where we get Steelers game, a Penn State game, a Flyers game, and a race.
A quadruple weekend.
I mean, we're approaching that.
Are we going to make it, though? Because the Steelers are off next week.
No, the Steelers are off this week.
Yeah, this week. That's what I meant.
Right.
And then the next weekend...
There's a race next weekend.
Right.
I guarantee you that the Flyers will be playing.
Sometime.
It's Ohio State week.
Correct.
And Pittsburgh is playing L.A.
Well, there you go. We got our first quadruple.
Quadruple next weekend coming up.
And there's probably a baseball game, too.
Well, now there's going to be... and I believe the Sixers are starting up here...
relatively
in the
soon.
next week or two or something like that. Yeah, I think so. So, man, this is that favorite time of the year. You know, when you get all the sports, all the college sports are coming into full swing. You know what I mean? And with college football being where it is, and NFL being here, and the NHL. Oh my gosh, man, folks! Look, I gotta tell you something. Connor Bedard is the real deal. Played against his mentor, Sidney Crosby, in Pittsburgh, and got an assist, and that team was able to win against Pittsburgh. Then the following night goes into Boston, scores his first NHL goal, and they lose to Boston. So, but Bedard and the Blackhawks, we will definitely be paying attention to that.
Yeah,
for
go
sure.
Blackhawks.
We were watching Fantilli in the Columbus Blue Jackets game against the Flyers.
He looked good.
He looked really good, too, as well. That guy's going to be an amazing talent as well, too. So a lot of guys coming into play. So we'll see. And any last things you want to say to the folks?
Enjoy for the Steelers and go Flyers.
And go Lions.
And go Lions.
Go Lions, right? And thanks, everyone, for joining us. Big thank you to Spreaker for all your help in getting us to out all of the podcasting platforms. A special thanks to all of you listeners out there for helping to get the Hockey Writers Inc. ranked in the top 15 of all Flyers podcasts. Thank you all so very much. The Hockey Writers Inc. podcast is ranked 11th.
Nice.
Yeah. So thank you all very much for that, man. Really appreciate all the viewership for that and all the great visits you guys are doing to the website. Please go check out thesteelflyers.com for all of Lance's latest articles, all the latest shows on Prospect Watch. We just did a Pickford, Bryce Pickford. Right? We did Austin Swankley, and we got another guy lined up for next week. You know what I mean? And so I'll be looking for some more of that, too, on the Prospect Watch. And also go check out the 5-Star and Steel show on Thursdays on YouTube, where we do the radio show again for the Steelers. So check that out, too. And go to SteelFlyers.com. Check us out. Hit the like and subscribe. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see you guys in the very near future for the next episode of the SteelFlyers Podcast. Just remember, folks, stay safe, stay strong, and hang tough.